No, it's fine. Come on.
Please join me in thanking the enablers featuring Tamara Frida for the music for our processional and the Hoodoo Hotel for this beautiful space for this special occasion. Finally, I want to thank Alyssa Keogh, Crystal Fletcher, and the USU Moab leadership team for all of their help to coordinate this beautiful ceremony. Dignitaries, faculty, graduates, family members, and guests, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem sung by the Enablers featuring Tamara Frida. I pledge allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. My name is Samantha Campbell, and I am the Interim Associate Vice President and Director of Students of Utah State University, Moab. We are pleased to welcome each of you to the program this evening. Members of the 2026 graduating class, your family, friends, faculty, and alumni. Today we also recognize dedicated leaders of the state and many special guests. From the Utah Board of Higher Education and Utah State University Board of Trustees, we welcome Kim Zebarth, Associate Commissioner of Technical Education, Utah Systems of Higher Education, Tessa White, USU Trustee Chair, Clark Whitworth, USU Trustee, J.C. Skinner, USU Trustee, Brandon Sorensen, outgoing USU Trustee and USU Student Association President, Max Alder, incoming USU Trustee and USU Student Association President. We are pleased to acknowledge the presence of members of the administration of the university, a group of colleagues with whom I have the privilege to work with in the interest of the university. President Brad Mortensen, Camille Mortensen, USU's First Lady, Larry Smith, Provost and Executive Vice President, Pam Dupen-Bryant, Interim Vice President and Vice Provost for statewide campuses, Christian Olson, Deputy Vice President of statewide campuses, Andrea Hunt, Assistant Vice President for statewide campuses, Jessica Euler, Vice President and Chief of Staff to the President, Janet Anderson, Vice President and Chief of Staff to the Provost, Bill Plate, Vice President, University Marketing and Communications, Devin Weiser, Vice President for Government and External Affairs, Justin Smith, Interim Vice President for USU Extension, Chris Winter, Vice President for Student Success, Matt White, Vice President for Advancement, Courtney White, Special Advisor to the President, Fran Hopkin, Vice Provost and University Registrar, Alan L. Smith, Dean, Emma Eccles Jones College of Education, Dirk Vanderwall, Dean, College of Veterinary Medicine, Grant Carden, Interim Dean, S.J. and Jesse E. Quinney, College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Joseph Ward, Dean, College of Arts and Sciences, Brian McCuskey, Professor and Department Head in English, Christine Miller, Professor and Executive Director of the University Honors Program, Zach Kanakis, Regional Pathways Coordinator, Department Head, Technology, Design, and Technical Education, Whitney Boudrero, Senior Director of Alumni Engagement. We also acknowledge the presence of our esteemed USU Moab and statewide faculty members. It is an honor to be here with so many faculty and valued colleagues. I would also like to take a moment tonight to honor a cherished member of our advisory council, Joe Kingsley, who recently passed away. Joe was a part of USU Moab from the very beginning, a true champion of this campus, and his steady support and enthusiasm will be deeply missed by USU Moab and our entire community. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. President Mortensen, esteemed faculty, USU leaders, Moab campus staff, family and friends, and most importantly, the exceptional students gathered here today. Welcome to this distinguished gathering where we honor the brilliance, the dedication, and the sheer audacity of our students who have dared to dream, dared to strive, and dared to excel. I wanted to share a little bit with you about our students graduating. Today, we have 40 graduates receiving a certificate or degree. They're not all here, but we do have 40 graduating. We have 20 certificates, 9 associates, 5 bachelors, 5 masters, and 1 PhD. Of these students, 40% of them are first-generation students. All but a couple of our students are from right here in Grand County. We truly strive to serve those who live right here in Moab and Grand County's communities. Some of the most popular programs on campus are our certificates are welding and general education, and our associates are nursing and pre-nursing. In our bachelors, we have business administration, social work, and nursing. Our masters, we've got social work and business administration, and our doctorate with ecology. And lastly, our oldest graduating student is 58 years old, and our youngest is 19 years old. Please join me in giving a round of applause to all of our graduates and celebrating their accomplishments. Consistent with the format of most graduation ceremonies, tonight we will hear words of inspiration and wisdom. We will recognize individuals who have given continued and unceasing support of USU Moab, and of course, we will recognize our outstanding graduates, Utah State University's next generation of alumni. Tonight is a celebration of your success in completing your degree or certificate. There are many factors that contribute to the quality of USU Moab. Most importantly is the quality of our students who exemplify perseverance, commitment, and the ability to engage in self-directed learning. Compared to the typical college campus, we attract and retain many post-traditional students who are working various careers, raising families, and volunteering in their churches and communities, all while successfully completing their degree and certificates at USU Moab. Also, the number of traditional age students enrolling out of high school is growing. We have invited one of our amazing students to address us this evening. I have asked Dr. Brooke Osborne, Associate Professor of Environment and Society, to introduce our speaker.
Thanks, Samantha. It is my privilege to introduce our student speaker tonight, Dr. Savannah Adkins. Dr. Adkins completed her PhD in ecology at USU last year, and that was after spending the last 3 years of her time here as a student in my lab at USU Moab. Savannah, where's Savannah? Hey, okay. Savannah is an exceptional biogeochemist, which is kind of a crazy word for the science that we do, but basically, Savannah thinks really deeply about the way ecosystems work and change. And she thinks a lot about how human actions impact the way ecosystems work and change. And her work in particular really stands out for its clear focus on informing land management and policy, specifically in drylands of the western US, places we all love to live, work, and play. In recognition of her research during her time at USU, Savannah received honors from the Sigma Xi Scientific Research Honor Society, the Nature Conservancy, and the National Science Foundation. Currently, Savannah holds a prestigious ORISE fellowship with the USDA Agricultural Research Service in Oregon, where she's continued to work and expand her research. Savannah now is focused on balancing food production, resource use, ecosystem restoration, and climate change mitigation. And her work really challenges this core idea that many of us hold on to, which is that conservation and land use need to be at odds with one another, instead of promoting collaborative and mutually beneficial approaches for the working landscapes of the Intermountain West. All, I would say, very valuable and timely goals and worthy efforts. So let's please thank Savannah for joining us here to share her experiences and perspectives as a former USU Moab student.
Thank you, Brooke. Congratulations, class of 2026. I hope that you are deeply and unapologetically proud of all that you have accomplished. I, for one, am immensely proud of you and profoundly inspired by you. And now you might be thinking, how is that possible? You don't even know me. And in many ways, that's true. I don't know each of you personally, but our paths have crossed more than you may have realized. During my time at USU, I studied for long hours in the same pod rooms as you. I celebrated my successes in the same classrooms as you, and I shed more than a few tears in the same quiet corners of campus when the pressure just felt all too overwhelming. However, I never actually sat beside you in classes, or traded lengthy lecture notes, or shared knowing glances when the course material got way too complicated for immediate comprehension. Instead, I worked on my dissertation in the lobby, on the patio, and unfortunately, sometimes in what I like to call Terry's spooky dead body closet, which is more formally known as the anatomy lab. And it was from this vantage point that I had the privilege of watching many of you from afar. I watched you run in during lunch breaks from your full-time job to take exams in the testing center. I watched you then return in the evenings after a full day of work, coffee and dinner in hand, to attend classes. I've watched you help each other study, comfort one another before tests, and celebrate with each other after tests, even if that celebration was simply because you made it to the other side of a truly formidable exam. Day after day, I watched you work hard, even when your circumstances were far from ideal. Week after week, I watched you persevere when the going got tough, and you kept showing up anyways. And time after time, in those tough moments, you were kind and generous to one another and took the time to make sure your classmates felt supported. Witnessing that kind of steady and unrelenting determination paired with compassion was nothing short of extraordinary. Because you, class of 2026, have the kind of determination that no amount of education can teach. And the perseverance you have shown is the kind that carries dreams across finish lines and shatters glass ceilings. And your commitment to building better lives for yourselves, for your families, and all those around you is what lays the foundations of vibrant and thriving communities. Today, you join a long line of USU graduates who have proven that they are, in fact, the pillars of Moab's community. And I can say that with certainty because I've experienced it firsthand. My time in grad school was also marked by a type 1 diabetes diagnosis. And in the midst of juggling fieldwork, lab experiments, and manuscript writing, I was also struggling through a wave of complications that come with a later-in-life diagnosis. I've spent way more time than I ever expected in the cold and sterile rooms of hospitals and clinics in and around southeastern Utah. And those places can feel isolating and daunting and scary, but again and again, I've encountered people who brought warmth and kindness into those moments. Like the phlebotomy technician and USU Moab graduate who wrapped me in a blanket and made sure I was okay when I needed what felt like every blood test that ever existed. Or a USU Moab School of Nursing graduate at the free health clinic who made sure I had access to insulin and other necessary medications when I lost my health insurance. Or someone from social services who helped me find health insurance that actually covered what I needed and helped me sign up for patient assistance programs so that I could afford my medications. And most definitely, the USU Moab faculty and staff who worked relentlessly to find financial and contractual resources that allotted me the extra time I needed for balancing a new disease while also earning a PhD. You all are amazing, especially my advisor, Brooke. Thank you. Because of USU Moab graduates and employees and the absolutely vital roles they play in our community, I was able to finish my own degree. And also get back to mountain biking, skiing, running sections of the Colorado, and on occasion, sometimes cramming all 3 of these activities into a single day because, well, it's Moab, and we live in a town where we can do all of that. I share all of this because I truly believe that each and every one of you are needed in our communities. You, class of 2026, give me so much hope for the future, and I have no doubt that the world will be a better place because of you. The persistence and drive and dedication you have shown while also balancing the full weight of life and all that it throws at you has prepared you to be a guiding light during someone else's time of need. Because you know what it means to endure, you know what it means to just keep going, and you know what it means to weather a storm. So as you sit here on the very cusp of becoming graduates, I hope you carry this one, albeit corny, truth with you. The world is your oyster. I hope you go after it with equal parts grit and determination, and kindness and compassion, and all the good character you have put so prominently on display throughout your time at USU. Today, we celebrate you because you have proven that your dreams are not only possible, but also worth every ounce of hard work it takes to get there. Every ounce of effort it's taken to get here, to this moment now. It's evident that as long as you believe in yourself, no one can stop you from achieving your dreams. So congratulations, class of 2026. You did it. Relish this momentous occasion well. Soak it in, let it linger, and be so immensely proud of yourself. Congratulations.
I now have the pleasure of introducing our graduation speaker for tonight, Colin Fryer. Colin is truly a cornerstone of the Moab community. Through his business ventures and just importantly, through his deep personal connections, he has had an extraordinary and lasting impact on Moab and the surrounding region. He was raised in northern Utah in a farming and ranching family. He developed a deep respect for the land and a strong work ethic early in life. After years in construction and entrepreneurship that led to successful growth, multiple businesses nationwide, he returned to the West to pursue ranching and building community. Since making Moab his home in 1990, Colin has spent decades ranching along the Colorado River while shaping the local tourism economy through ventures such as Red Cliffs Lodge, Castle Creek Winery, Castle Rock Construction, and service on statewide boards, including the Utah State Travel Board. Even in semi-retirement, he continues to ranch, mentor, and give back to the community that he loves. Please join me in welcoming somebody who embodies resilience, entrepreneurship, and community, Colin Fryer.
Well, this is quite an honor for an old cowboy, you know. Is that loud enough? Can you hear me? There you go. Thank you. Well, I guess the first thing is congratulations to the graduates. That's a lot of work. So congratulations. And I'll thank Utah State and the people that encouraged me to do this. Considering it's my first time, they're taking kind of a chance. They never know how it's going to turn out. But anyway, I appreciate the opportunity and the chance to practice making a speech. Hi guys, and thanks to Utah State and Moab for this opportunity. The other day, I was up in Salt Lake, and I was talking to my sister. I have a younger sister that I'm quite close with, and when I go up there, we get together, and so she says to me, I was talking to my sister, and she's the smart one. She's a great teacher, has lots of education and a great big heart. And she says to me, so what have you been up to lately? And I said, well, fixing stuff. We're starting to get the irrigation water going, traveling a little, trying to be outside in the country. And then I said, guess what? I said, guess what? I'm going to give a graduation speech at Utah State in Moab. So it gets all quiet. And then she says, how does that work? You're a college dropout. And I said, well, maybe they're short on speakers. Or maybe I could be an example of what could have been. And then she says, well, it better be good, because Mom, will be mad at you if it's not. You see, she's still mad at me that I didn't finish school. So I'm going to try to do my best. And you see, even though I was pretty successful, our mom still placed education on top of everything. Our mother loved school, and she was still going in her 80s. She'd ride the bus up to the University of Utah and take whatever classes were free. She'd take some crazy stuff like police science or iceberg theory or the history of the unknown pygmies. It didn't matter, she just wanted to learn. And my sister got that DNA too. The crummy deal is that my sister got all that DNA. She loves school, she spent 30 years teaching, and she still helps out whenever she can. I didn't get the DNA, so school was harder for me. So here I am, a college quitter, humbly before you to relate a little of my life's education and how things went for me. I attended the University of Utah for 5 years, 5 plus actually. The first couple of years, it was a time when the Vietnam War was raging, and many of us used college deferment to not go. And so I did that for a couple of years, and then I went to day school a little bit, but a lot of night school for the next 3 years. I married early and was working multiple jobs by then. In those days, we didn't have much in terms of student loans. It was pretty much pay as you go, and things were much cheaper, maybe better in some ways. When I stopped, I didn't have any school debt. Even though I didn't graduate, I did have 4 years of university education. I filled out all the early 101 classes like everybody and was pretty much 3/4 of the way through a business major. I had started working at a car stereo store at Salt Lake, and one day the investors in the business decided to leave. It was quite an abrupt blow for that small business. One of the investors that was leaving and taking his money was also the bookkeeper and accountant. The breakup of the business was not friendly, and the owner of the business was left not only short of money, but without anybody to do the books. The word got out, and I decided I'd apply. Well, as it turned out, I went from car stereo salesman to bookkeeper and accountant in one day, without any real previous job experience. But I'd learned the basics in college. I didn't know it at the time, but this was my big break that was going to shape my life for the next 25 years. The opportunity came, and I took it. The small part of my college classes in business gave me enough skills to succeed. I worked in that store for a year or so, and then it led me to another break. One of our major suppliers was expanding his business. He'd met me and he liked me, and he decided to hire me to run that expanding business. So it was a whirlwind. It was car stereo stores, car stereo tapes, 8-track tapes, installation, repairs, small stores, head shop stuff, grew more stores, water beds, bigger stores, water bed factories, stores in Idaho, then a wholesale distribution company distributing the car stereos and those kinds of things across 5 different states. And that finally led to a business reorganizing businesses and liquidations. And we ran that business from California to New York. 20 years later, I'd built a successful business, but I was still working on my dream. You see, the electronics business was a step to my dream of owning a farm and a ranch. I'd had that dream since I was 12 or so. And my grandpa, who was a farmer, rancher, who I worked for and was also my idol, had told me in no uncertain terms that if I wanted to ranch, I needed to go make some money first. I wasn't going to inherit one. So I did what he told me, and now I had the money to start my dream. I started selling my electronics businesses and getting ready for the next move. Having already been looking around the West for a ranch, and to make a long story short, I was lucky to buy the slightly famous White's Ranch on the Colorado River, just 16 miles from here. In 1990, I started moving to Moab. I didn't know anyone but the real estate salesman, and I began reinventing myself and realizing my dream. Farming, ranching, cows, horses, fixing up the old ranch, and then building a new house and barns. Then came hospitality, which became my add-on dream, with motels, restaurants, winery, catering, movie stuff. And then finally my crown jewel, I planned, designed, built, and ran Red Cliffs Lodge from 1998 to 2021. I was not expecting to sell the lodge, but an offer came to me that was so good, I decided to take it and start my semi-retirement. I still miss Red Cliffs every day. The crew, the customers, the fast pace, I'll never get it completely out of my blood. So that's 50 plus years of various businesses, hundreds of employees, millions and millions in revenue and expenses, operating from coast to coast. And it all started with one opportunity, one break that I wasn't expecting, but able to take advantage of it. I'm very humbly grateful for that opportunity and all the great people I worked with over those years, the experiences, the laughs, the challenges, the wonderful memories. So I thought I'd have an idea for tonight that might help, something that I've tried to think about all the time, and it's about being aware. Sometimes they say, be here now. Pay attention to where you are. Who are you? What's going on? The old Greek philosopher said it like this: everyone is born with talents. Discover yours and do the best you can with them. Prioritize your talents and try not to waste time on things you're not good at. Try not to waste time on things you're not good at. And understand the difference. Discover the things you're good at, discover the things you like, and then go with it. So I kind of have it broken up into kind of three categories. The first one is to be aware of who you are. What do you like? What don't you like? What's ticking inside of you? What lifestyle do you imagine? What are your dreams? What does success look like to you? What does your success look like? Be aware of where you want to go. Be aware of what you want to do, and then do it. The next thing, after being aware of those things, then you have to have a plan. So you got to be aware of your plan to realize your dreams. Be aware of the skills that you'll need when you get your opportunity. And you will get an opportunity. You will get a break. You will get a chance. Everybody does, but you've got to be ready. Opportunity, sometimes they say, is like a bus, and you're at the bus stop. The bus of opportunity stops. You've got to be aware that that's your opportunity. And you got to get on the bus with your skills. If you don't get on, if you're not ready, the bus is probably going to leave. It might come back, but it probably won't. So, now you're pretty clear about your dream, and I mean pretty clear, because the dream is always changing, growing. One thing leads to another. And now you're on the bus of opportunity, and now it's time to work that plan. This is the fun part, and it's also the hard stuff. This is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. If you're dreaming bigger, If your image of success is bigger, then you got to get ready for some hard work. Learn the skills, gather the tools, be aware of the steps to your goal. Goals are not ever achieved in one step. And the bigger your dream, the more the steps. And sometimes baby steps work best. Sometimes baby steps work best on your way to your goal. Be prepared for adversity, be prepared for unexpected problems, and get your persistence right. Persistence. In my opinion, persistence is one of the main traits for success. Persistence means you're willing to fight to the finish. You're willing to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term goals. You're not going to let other people discourage you or talk you down. You're going to keep going sometimes when it's no fun and sometimes when you're alone. Stay persistent. Or else, as somebody else said, not necessarily a wise man, but he said, follow your dreams. And if anybody finds mine, tell me. So now I'm going to jump around, and that brings me to Socrates. And you'll think, well, what does a cowboy know about Socrates? Well, he was the greatest Greek philosopher of them all, and I keep his handbook next to my bed, and I read it often. He said and asked and taught many things. He asked, who are you and where did you come from? Who are you, where did you come from? Some people have a ready answer for that. Some people don't. I don't. I think about it all the time. He also said, know that you know nothing. That's not very good news for people who have been going to school for 4 years, but that was his way of being humble. Know that you know nothing. And he said, question everything. His idea was you don't necessarily take anybody's word for anything without self-discovery. Question everything. And he said, the unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates, my second favorite person in history, persisted that we should reflect on what we say and do, acknowledging what we know and acknowledging what we're ignorant about. Look for ways to live a good and decent life. An examined life is to look within and around to determine what our motivations and whether they have true meaning or worth. To seek out the important things in life, focus on truth and determine what a virtuous life looks like. You can't be wise without self-control. A virtue requires knowledge, and it's better to suffer an injustice than commit one. Socrates believed that the care of your soul was most important, and committing a bad deed would damage it. Virtue, humility, and wisdom were Socrates' most important pursuits and the means of achieving contentment and happiness. He thought we were all just as good as our soul, or only as good as our soul. So the unexamined life, you can ask yourself some questions. What do we stand for? How do we want to be remembered? How do we use this short, precious time on earth? Be aware. Is your life worthy of examination? Steve Jobs, the inventor of Apple and many other things, said, you've got to find what you love to do. Jobs dropped out of college but continued to study things he liked. After a failure, he said, go back to what you like. He also said, we're all going to die. And he said, your time is limited, so don't waste it doing someone else's life. So go out there, make good choices, make good stories, and colorful memories. Remember, college isn't the end, it's just the beginning of figuring out what all those classes were really for. Let's thank Utah State for preparing you for the real world, especially the part where you have to figure things out on your own. And thank you, Utah State, for the new friends, the lessons, the laughs, the memories, the good terms on our student loan, and for eventually letting us graduate. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. We will now move on to the recognition of our graduates and conferring of certificates and degrees. All the candidates who have been recommended for graduation are listed online in the commencement program. Please join me in welcoming President Mortensen to the podium, who will confer the degrees.
Okay, before we do the official part of this, I just want to commend all of you graduates, congratulate you. Way to go for all of the hard work and the perseverance and resilience that you've shown. We're excited for you today. You've got a great crowd of supporters here. All the faculty and all the administration and staff from the university are so proud of you and really want to extend our congratulations. And just remember all the great things that Savannah and Colin shared too. Those were great remarks. Colin, I don't think you have anything to be worried about with your mother. So thank you for that. Okay, will all the graduates please rise? And now, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of Utah and the Utah Board of Higher Education, I confer upon you the degree or certificate appropriate to the requirements you have met. You may now move your tassel, signifying your new status as a graduate, from the right side of your cap to the left side. Congratulations, class of 2026. You can be seated.
Thank you, President Mortensen. Our commencement ceremony will begin with the awarding of graduate degrees. We'll begin with the hooding of our doctorate and master's graduates. Shanda Thompson, academic advisor, will introduce graduates. The hooding of our graduate students will take place in front of the podium. The name of each candidate will be announced. They will come to the stage. The candidate will then be hooded and congratulated. Doctorate and master's students, will you please rise and proceed to the designated area near Shanda? Will Interim Dean of the S.J. and Jesse E. Quinney College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Grant Carden, and Associate Professor of Environment and Society, Brooke Osborne, please come to the podium at this time for the hooding of our doctorate student. You'll go right there, and all those who are going to shake hands will come to the front at this time.
Savannah Adkins, philosophy doctorate in ecology. Emma Millis, Masters of Business Administration. Angelica Dixon, Master of Business Administration. Hannah Wilkowski, Master of Mathematics and Post-Bachelor Certificate of Data Science. Haley Gardner, Master of Social Work. Would all bachelor, associate, and certificate degree students please stand, graduate students, you're graduated, please stand and prepare to come to the stage to be recognized. Heather Broderick, Bachelor of Science, Communicative Disorders.
That's my sister!
Ted Kelly, Bachelor's of Science, Economics. Kylie Coleman, Applied Associates, Registered Nursing. Colin Evans, Applied Associates, Registered Nursing. Zoe Kosa, Undergraduate Certificate, Practical Nursing. Teresita Sosi, Undergraduate Certificate, Practical Nursing. Megan Zunich, Undergraduate Certificate, Practical Nurse, Technical Certificate, Nursing Assistant, and Technical Certificate, Phlebotomy. Haley Rice, Undergraduate Certificate, Practical Nursing. Danelia Barajas, Undergraduate Certificate, Practical Nursing.
Let's give our graduates another round of applause. It is now my pleasure, USU Moab Class of 2026, to introduce Whitney Boudreau, Senior Director of Alumni Engagement, to welcome you into the Fellowship of the Alumni Association.
Good evening, Aggies. It is my honor to welcome the class of 2026 into the alumni family of Utah State, more than 175,000 strong. You are now lifetime Aggies, and I couldn't be more proud to welcome you as an alumni of Utah State. Today marks the end of one remarkable chapter and the beginning of an even more exciting one. You join a vibrant network of Aggie graduates and share a deep commitment to excellence. Cherish the friendships and experiences you've made here. They will be pillars of strength and support for you throughout the rest of your life. Tonight, I invite you to stay connected. Stay connected with our Alumni Association, get that Utah State license plate, and join your local Aggie alumni chapter, and remain a part of this incredible network. Your place here is permanent. We're here to cheer you on and open doors for you. You leave not with just a degree, but as resilient, courageous leaders, ready to make a difference. As an Aggie, build yourself up and then lift those around you. So go forward with confidence, lead, serve, innovate, show up with confidence and kindness. Thank those who supported you and pay that kindness forward. Live our values of excellence, ambition, collaboration, courage, innovation, and respect. Class of 2026, I can't wait to watch you change the world. Congratulations, Aggies. Go make it count.
As we come to the end of the ceremony, I ask that family and friends please stand during the recessional until all students and dignitaries have departed the hall. Aggie Ice Cream and light refreshments will be served just outside in the glass room, and the USU backdrop is in the hall that we encourage you to take pictures with your friends and family. You may keep the hat, tassel, pin, and diploma cover. With the recessional, we complete the program, and the commencement ceremonies for Utah State University Moab stand adjourned. All please stand as the dignitaries and graduates exit.